Now, it's no secret, Disney and especially Marvel has had a rough few years. Almost everything they shard out either loses money or gets ignored. So, I didn't have high hopes when it was announced the Thunderbolts, a Temu Marvel Suicide Squad full of D, E, and F tier characters no one cares about or remembers, plus Bucky Barnes, was going to wheeze into theaters this summer. And as it turned out, that apathy was mostly justified. Sure, it's solid enough, at least there aren't glaring rewrites and reshoots chopping the screenplay into corn-filled turd nuggets like Brave New World and the Marvels, but it's just so forgettable. The story is that off-brand Black Widow Yelena has been freelancing for CIA Director Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, whose name is so insufferable that the 30 times she insists on saying it feels vindictive. Fontaine's been a naughty girl and is about to be impeached for running black ops and secret experiments, which I thought was the point of the CIA, but I guess she forgot to get her permission slip signed. So, she promises Yelena one last mission in exchange for making her a superhero or something. I don't know why she needs Fontaine's permission to do that, though, seeing she has all the skills and resources of a Black Widow, and Fontaine has literally no leverage on her, but never mind. Her mission is to kill a thief who's been plaguing Fontaine's secret programs and could blow the whole thing. But when Yelena gets there, gasp! It turns out this was a trap for her and all of Fontaine's other loose ends. Oh no, the cold-blooded manipulator betrayed them to cover her butt. Who could have seen that coming except everyone over the age of 3 with a functioning frontal lobe? Enter off-brand Captain America, Ghost, Taskmaster, and some idiot named Bob. What's that? You don't remember or care about any of these characters? Neither does most of the audience, so don't feel bad. They have a little punch 'em up, one of them gets ejected from the story like a bad case of gas, and we stumble our way through a basic underdogs coming together to form a bond of blah, 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 whatever. Remember in the Avengers, where everyone had distinct personalities and wants? How they rose above their personal conflicts to form a team and found interesting ways to complement one another's strengths and abilities. It was a good movie. I like that movie. This is not that movie. None of these characters is particularly interesting, and the movie seems to know it. Except for Red Guardian, they're all some version of the dull-eyed, snarky emo kid you knew in high school, and there isn't a single scene showcasing them figuring out creative ways to combine their powers to greater effect, which isn't really surprising because there isn't any way their powers could be combined to be interesting. 3 of the 5 have the exact same powers, so what's there to combine? 3 guys punch something together? The movie's main message, okay, it's about togetherness and confronting your inner demons, and it's a good message, sure, but man, was it heavy-handed. It's all incredibly on-the-nose dialogue and metaphorical storytelling that might as well have had a flashing neon sign saying, "Go to therapy and call your mother." What happened to subtlety in storytelling? I don't know. But speaking of subtlety, could someone tell David Harbour to tone it down just a touch? He's supposed to be the comic relief, but most of his jokes are just him screaming something stupid and pausing for the non-existent laugh track. It's so grating and abrasive, and I know he's supposed to be this big, stupid oaf, but it's like that kid in kindergarten who got a laugh because he once yelled poop in class and won't stop doing it. It gets so old so fast. But at least Harbour seems awake, which is more than I can say for Sebastian Stan as Bucky. Stan kind of drifts through the movie looking tired and slightly embarrassed. Didn't Bucky used to have a personality? And I mentioned this in my Brave New World review, but what was the point of making him a congressman? How does that even work? He's supposed to hate, he seems to hate doing that job, and he just pisses off every few days to get in hero fights? One would think having an elected official who goes around delivering vigilante justice would raise a few eyebrows, especially when just a few years ago he was an internationally hunted super assassin. Sean Hannity would rage orgasm himself to death just thinking about it. Well, eventually I guess there are heroes, join forces to take down Fontaine, which could have made for an interesting cat and mouse movie. You know, maybe she manufactures evidence that Bucky and the others have gone rogue and she throws the resources of the CIA at him while they try to find evidence to expose her. But this is a modern Marvel movie. So instead, we need a super baddie to fight at the end. Spoiler warning, it's Bob. But be honest, you figured that out after the first trailer. He shows up as the comic relief normie and then disappears from the trailer right as a dark figure in tights and cape cosplay with his exact build and haircut shows up. What a clever ruse! But at least it's better than the crap they pulled with the Brave New World trailer by showing the entire Red Hulk transformation. Bob is so overpowered it's stupid. He's basically a stronger Superman with telekinesis. His only weakness is that if he gets the big sad, he turns evil and starts dusting people like Thanos, only he doesn't need the Infinity Stones to do it. So how the heck do a bunch of street brawlers fight that? You want to know? With the power of hugs. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. They hug him, and he feels better, and forgets how to use his superpowers. I can't even with these movies anymore. It's so stupid. What the fuck? It's so dumb. Marvel really needs to stop giving us these overpowered as crap characters that could solve every problem with the flick of a finger, only to make lame excuses for why they're out of town when the crap hits the fan. Bob is so overpowered he makes Captain Marvel look like Hawkeye. But just like with Captain Marvel and Secret Wars' Gaia, they can drive a stupid reason why he's not going to show up the next time there's a world-ending disaster. At the end of the movie, he says he can't use his powers anymore without letting his evil personality out and destroying the world. Sound familiar? But his powers aren't something he transforms into like the Hulk. They're literally on all the time. So what, if he accidentally stubs his invulnerable toe, he'll take out Manhattan? And speaking of power, the power levels on these characters are all over the map. One minute they can be knocked out with a simple punch, and the next they're tanking whole slabs of concrete and jumping 100 feet in the air. At one point, they're supposed to be trapped in a vault that's about to burst into flames, and Ghost zaps through the wall to try to pick the lock. But why can't she phase them through the wall with her? She does it later, saving a kid. Is it too much to ask for a little consistency instead of their abilities changing at the whim of the script? And though I did appreciate the themes examining depression and self-worth, it was really simplistic and insulting in how they went about it. By the end, everyone's mental illnesses are sorted out by a few hugs and kind words. At least in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it showed Bucky going to therapy and getting some much-needed professional help. And I'm pretty sure if I had a buddy who could end the world if he forgets his meds, I'd want that dude getting some hardcore therapy. Instead, the most powerful being in the MCU stays home and does the dishes. But if you thought that was the end of the stupid, oh no! It gets so much worse. The real finale is a post-credit stinger where the team, now based out of Avengers Tower, spends 5 minutes whining about Sam Wilson copywriting the Avengers name so they can't use it, and then they see the Fantastic Four's spaceship and we're all supposed to seal clap and make a happy. Yay. Look, I know that the most recent Marvel movies were horrific car wrecks. But at least they were fun to hate on, with their earnest incompetence. This is the first time the absolute apathy of the fans translated to the movie itself. Everyone looks bored and tired, especially Sebastian Stan, who looks like he'd rather be in a dog food commercial than another Marvel movie. It's better than a lot of the crap we've gotten recently, and I enjoyed the odd moment, but you won't care 5 minutes after you finish your popcorn. Maybe, just maybe, the upcoming Fantastic Four movie will breathe a little life into this exhausted corpse, but I don't have much hope for it. So, until next time, happy viewing!